Hello folks, welcome to the show. Jack Chow here with the East-West show at G&E TV. This show, like I said 1 million times already, focuses on the promotion of life. The kind of life I call positive life. I call it a kind of uplifting life. I call it is anything that adds the color and the fragrance to life that we promote. So not only do I do it, but also I do it with a great passion. As you can testify over the years that I really do it, right? And also, as a nature of this show, I would like to make it like, I call it daring. Daring to love, daring to hate. Of course, by the way, these days the word hate is a very sensitive word, but I hate within the word of my own definition. Definition being that the hate is that to criticize, to denounce the negative doings. For example, I hate crimes.
Yes.
I hate excessive policing force, right? And I hate to lie, sort of like that. So. Yeah. Daring to love, daring to hate, or love to love, hate to hate, right? So that is the positive attitude of this show that we together, the producer, me, and the audiences and the guests all together try to build. It's going to be a pagoda, but we are still building it. It's going to go higher and higher. I hope you like this show. It is so grassrooted, so kind of representing common sense. We're not doing the high end. We're just taking the average Americans, what they like, what they hate. All right, good. So now Christmas is coming, and it's drawing near day by day. Everything is ready. So we'd better talk about it. So the rest half of the show today, we're going to talk about Christmas, including Christmas shopping and Christmas concept. But before that, we have to do a little touch with our government, starting with Obamacare. With me today is my good friend, good friend, a very trustworthy friend. And I have to say he's the one that represents a typical kind of upbeat guy with an upbeat mind, Mr. Ken Hemming, writer, a creator, and a lover of peace. So welcome, Ken, to my show once again.
Jack, when I share time with you and your viewers with my Christmas vest, it's December. We're celebrating Christmas. Send in all your sizes. We'll send you presents. And it's a joy to share some of December with all of you.
Exactly. Lately, ever since October 1st, now we're on second part of, almost second part of December.
Yeah.
We're still talking about Obamacare. First, we were hit by the website, which was not working. And then later, when we go deeper and deeper, we'll find some kind of conflicts in itself, let alone the fact that it is being criticized or being commented from different perspectives.
Yes.
So what is your take so far?
Well, a couple things. One is, the real key issues that affect how the users of insurance will benefit or suffer, comes down to, say, the coverage elements, some of which are not necessary and are being foisted upon us. And then the other element is cost, and also combined with the deductibles. So the deductibles are going higher. It looks like costs are going higher for many, and we're told what to buy. In my opinion, I think all of the citizens of our blessed country should have the desire to choose how they want to in a free, competitive enterprise situation. Because any diminution of our individual freedom makes me sad. And that's what you came here for, was more freedom. and
Of course.
that's what I live here for. So it's going to evolve as the truth becomes known.
I do agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
do agree
I'm,
with that.
I'm not in a hurry to get older,
But
but
to
I'm in
take
a
a
hurry
lower-
to see how it.
To take an overall look at Obamacare, does that represent those characters that you analyzed?
I think it represents the opposite of the characteristics that we cherish. Okay, which is the ability to choose. I don't believe it's any government's a job to tell us what we have to.
It is really
buy.
hurting. It is really hurting, and especially to be honest with my audiences, if we keep on watching my show, they will come to a conclusion that Jack Chow personally likes Obama. I still do, but later on when things pops up with that kind of again and again, you seem to lose your confidence in. Oh my God, I forgot. Sorry for that. This seldom happens, but once it happens, it's so embarrassing. Sorry. Like Ken says, never hesitate to say sorry.
Absolutely.
Action. When this many things pops up, you really find yourself in a position of losing your confidence in someone. Okay, now, take the care, for example, right? Now, we know that you have a very large number of population who wants it. That's okay, right?
That's fine.
Now, that's the foundation.
It's democracy.
And number two, if this care system is that good, they will just kill for it, right? Number
Yes.
three, if the care is so good, the people who are working on the website, either designing or operating them or whatever, will pay 100, maybe 10% of attention to make it perfect.
Right.
Right. And then if this is good, nobody should be exempted. But why are they exempting people?
Good question.
Are taking some people out. Some people are qualified to stay out. Somebody, hey, you must buy, something like that. That I get so confused.
Well, Jack, one issue is the people that voted it into law, the Congress and the senators, are exempted from it. They're not
That is the
participating.
problem. That is
makes
the
no.
problem.
And
Yeah.
we always have agreed in our conversations that common sense is much more valuable than intelligence.
And the unions too.
And I'm speechless on that.
Yeah,
I'm speechless.
Yeah,
because it's no
and
sense.
the unions too, right? So, of course, once again, at the time when it was voted in Congress into law, and at the time when the Supreme Court give the hold to the law, it is because of the law itself.
Yes.
But the details overturns it.
Yes.
Do you think so?
Yeah, and there seems to be a correlation. Perhaps I'm wrong. I like to be wrong.
I don't know.
But a correlation between who gets exempted in assuring their future votes. There's a correlation there.
I feel I'm lost. Lots of people are the same way, I believe.
We're in a fog.
Yeah. Look at the way are getting registered. Right.
Right.
Now you're talking about full October,
Yes.
full November,
Yes.
and half of December.
Right.
And you tell me how big is the number of signed
It's
people.
a couple 100,000, but
That's it.
5.6 million people
Yeah.
have been canceled on their policies. And the real an issue with the website right now, which is not the problem. I think it's elements of the law myself, but that the back end is not completed. The back end is what transmits the information, your information, which is insecure. There's no security on the website to the insurance companies. So you may think you're signed up, and you may come in January and have to go see your doctor, and you're not insured, and you thought you were. Those are dangerous.
Sure. On one side, you see people slowly getting signed on, and on the other, you see people receiving the cancellation notice on a day-to-day basis.
Yes.
So it looks like we're burning the candle at both ends.
We are.
Are we?
In one comment you made that I accept 100%. Okay, you like Obama, you still like a lot of things about him.
I still do,
but
yeah.
whether I like him or not, or another president or not, doesn't matter. I like the people. All I think about is the citizens. And the government has to understand they're working for us, okay, and representing us and not dictating to us.
But the problem is that we're facing a time, a certain time in history, when you look around at the rest of the world, among the 200-something plus nations,
Yes.
okay, there are only 10% or even less who are not covering their whole citizenship, whole citizens, right? So we are one of them. There are only 20-something countries who do not have the cross-line healthcare.
Right.
Right?
Now,
Now, this indicates the needs, the urgency of it, right? On the other hand, with the urgency, should we have a care or not, there's a yes and no answer. So between the yes and no answer, it looks that we have the third problem is that even with the yes, are we going to get into this one or not?
Yeah, well, you know, one thing, if Obamacare works perfectly, they're still saying there'll be 30 million not insured. Okay, so we're not going to get to that. And also, I personally still think it's my choice. If I don't want to buy any insurance, I think I can choose my lifestyle. Now, a lot of people disagree with that, but I just don't think everything should be foisted upon us, just such as you can't have a 16-ounce cup of Coca-Cola in New York. It doesn't make sense to me. But,
All right.
but I'm just one person.
All right, those parts I may not agree with you,
Yeah.
but let's find out. Let's
Sure.
take a short moment out. And when we come back, we'll find out what we can agree on, what we can, remain as the disagreeing each other, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So stay with us. We'll be right back. Hello, my dear friends, dear fellow Americans. Welcome back to the show. Jack Zhao on East West with G&E TV, doing a discussion with my good friend, Mr. Ken Hamming, a writer and creator, and I would say a philosopher sometimes. He sounds very much so. He recently wrote a book called Life is Simple, 100 Words to Live By. In other words, if you really grasp these 100 words, you'll live a very simple but beautiful life. So
I believe that.
You believe so. I believe so too. Because the more I read it, the more I like it, and I wish I had seen it earlier than later.
Me too. Me too. I wish I wrote it earlier.
All right, good. But we're talking about government and the concept of the government, how we shall read the government, how we shall define the word government, by starting with commenting Obamacare. With Obamacare in the midst right now, people do not know, even people supporting it do not even know exactly what they are talking about.
Right.
People opposing it, of course, do not know what they are talking about either. That's the problem of our time now.
The truth has not been revealed.
All right.
That's right.
Okay. All we know is that, okay, now, to some people, there's a mandatory that you have to buy or you get your fine, a big fine, beautiful, handsome fine. Right?
Yes.
To other people, they say, okay, you're exempt, you're okay, you don't have to buy. So it looks that we're using two sets of rules, two sets of
double standards.
Standards.
Yep.
So, all right. Now, to that, I think that you and I agreed upon, right? But just now you mentioned about the lifestyle of not choosing to buy.
Yes.
The lifestyle of buying a 64 ounces of Diet
fattening
Coke.
Coke.
Such as in my case. Oh, by the way, I quit for 5 months already, thanks to my boss. He says, you must stop drinking that thing. Anyway, so now, should I choose or should I not choose to quit that big jar thing, right? Should I choose or should I not choose to get life insurance?
Yes.
That's not your cup of tea, okay?
Yeah.
Because government, if the government really acts like a government, it has to make rules in the common belief, in the majority of a belief that will protect you, even though you might be being naughty for sometimes. You might be doing yourself not a favor instead of a favor, but damage to yourself. They try to govern you.
I agree when your choices are harming other people. Okay, but some of these choices, some of these choices pretty much are if there is harm, only impact yourself.
Okay, the law prevents you to kill people, right?
As it should.
But if I come across a situation that you are committing a suicide,
Yes.
Should I stop you? Or should I just, yeah, it's a free country.
Well,
Let you choose.
It's very funny what you just said, because in San Francisco a couple days ago, a guy was on the bridge threatening to jump, and a woman passerby just got out her iPhone and started
showed a
taking
picture,
pictures.
yeah.
That's insane.
That's insane.
That was
right?
insanity.
Okay. Why was that criticized? Because she was supposed to do something.
Do something rather than
of course. Back in
be
New York, they
mesmerized.
passed laws to forbid the whatever size, 16 ounces.
Yeah,
I believe.
16-ounce Coke.
16 ounces of soda,
Yeah.
big or bigger, to ban on that. It's almost the same thing as to stop a guy doing a suicide. So,
Well,
in your philosophy, if you want to say, hey, yeah, here's the picture of the beautiful sin, you choose to kill yourself, go ahead, do it. And then I agree. I did disagree, respectively disagree.
Oh, absolutely, because look, we are like-minded men,
Yeah,
okay?
for
Like-minded
sure.
humans, okay, citizens.
At least we
but
have that
but
kind of intelligence to know
Yeah.
sometimes disagreement means not.
we
does not
can
mean
disagree
anything,
with a
right?
smile,
Yeah,
a heartfelt
yeah, sure,
thought, and
sure.
a handshake.
Exactly.
That's right.
So for that, can we come to one point that the government has to do something like the New York law to ban the 16 ounces? All right.
Well-
same as the guy or lady should not have just taken a picture of a guy jumping over the bridge trying to stop him.
Well, you know, I just can't accept somebody telling me how much Coke I can drink. However, because you can take your 8 ounce, then you just go, you drink it, and you go buy another
You do
one.
twice, yeah.
Right. So then, so I'm not sure what's accomplished, you know, but because I'm.
Yeah, let me stop you right there.
Thank you.
You can kill yourself by one bullet here.
That's right.
You can slowly do it by taking a 16 ounce every single day.
Right.
It's the same thing.
Right.
The same thing, right? So the philosophy, the solid, is there that we are not in the jungle. We're as a
Right.
society.
We're a
we
member.
need to care each other, right?
Yes, that's
When
true.
I see one of the members committing suicide, it is my obligation. It is my, I call it
It's your honor.
ethics.
Yeah.
Right? Or moral
Right.
to do my part. Say, hey, guy, don't do it.
Yes.
Look up. There's sunshine there.
Please.
Tomorrow, everything will be okay. Try to talk to him or her to stop it.
That's the whole
Right?
purpose.
So that is the thing.
Yeah, that's the message in my book, that everything bad in life that may depress you,
Sure.
there's brighter days
Sure,
ahead,
sure.
because
If
you only die once.
If people choose to say, hey, I don't want medical care, I choose to live my own style, all right, unless you can make sure that you're not going to emergency to spend lots of taxpayers' money, right? You were free to do so, right? But even this is not the right thing. It is not the kind of freedom. They want to make sure your small problem is cured, taken care of before going into some disastrous, right? As the government is supposed to do so. As what kind of a care?
Yeah.
Does this mean if you and I agree upon the suicide issue, does that mean we have necessarily to like the kind of care that we're facing? That's a different issue.
But let me share one example, and that is over years, if we were dictated to that you can't have butter, you can't have this, whatever was medically deemed to be possibly harmful, what was harmful maybe 10 years ago is not anymore. Because the truth,
Exactly.
it's actually the opinion evolves and changes.
That's why history is evolving.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
At a time when the Congress decided to be discriminative to Chinese are the right thing to do. So they passed the Chinese exclusion laws.
Okay.
That was 1882, right?
Wow,
No,
okay.
1885.
Okay.
And then going into the first part of 19th century,
Yes.
so they changed it, 20th century. Of 20th century, 1934 or something, they overturned it because history revolves. They recognized doing that is wrong.
Yes.
And now they're talking about giving a public apology to the Chinese Americans of having once in history made that kind of law. Now, same cases, same things here. So one day we say, you don't eat fat pork because fat pork kills you. And then somebody say, hey, no, here's a study saying that, well, eating some kind of a fat pork will build your health. The thing. People learn. Those are the things different from the fact even with that as confirmed the truth, do we have to like the Obamacare?
And
That's the problem.
and one thing that's very interesting is even though they're telling us informationally that these things are bad for you, that our population is getting more obese every day. So it's not having effect.
Yeah. My whole point is that
Yeah.
to assume that you and I can get agreement,
Sure.
so that we look for the second step, right?
Yes, sir.
Just assume you did agree with me
Okay,
on the
absolutely.
fact
Yeah.
that the people do not need to, people do need to have a health care system.
Oh, we
Right?
we
Okay.
we need
Just
good
you and
health
I,
care.
you and I assume that you did.
100%,
Right.
yes.
And you gave up what you said just now, saying, I want to leave my own style to not to choose to buy, but just assume you did. You lied to me a little bit right now.
There are systems that sometimes you choose to participate
I'm
in.
talking about condition or discussion condition.
Yes.
Just assuming.
Okay.
Or on an assumption basis.
Right.
Assuming you didn't disagree with me, right?
Yes.
We both agree. Does that mean Obamacare is the solution? That is my focus.
Oh, yes, it does not mean that's the solution
Yeah,
if it doesn't work.
Yeah.
But absolutely, the need is there.
Solution means something does work at least,
Right, right.
But it doesn't work. There seems no solution.
Yeah.
All right, now we have two problems. That's what we can go back.
Yes.
But now we can go back. Well, when we are going back, when you go back, we know the solution doesn't work, and then the disagreement between you and me remain.
Yeah. Now, I'm interested in your thought. I don't think any government can do anything as well efficiently as free enterprise system can provide. Look at Amazon or something. They do, I don't know, 90 million hits a day or something, whatever it is, and they do it well. And so government doesn't have an incentive for efficiency.
And that exactly gives us the lead line to our next discussion.
Yes, sir.
About what is the government.
Yes.
Right? What is the government? Is the government a mother?
Right.
Or a grandmother?
Right.
Or a guardian?
What is the relationship between the citizenry and the government?
They put it taxpayers.
Yes.
Right? And the government. So, all right, good. So it is always sometimes good to argue a little bit to make a point, and then if you can't reach a point, you just assume the argument is stopped and look further ahead. When that further ahead point made it clear, you can hand in hand come back with your disagreeing party to pick up the disagreement, to look around. Instead of one issue, you're talking about two issues, right? So now,
Absolutely.
the two issues, of course, the second issue involves is the government. So the nature of government, the definition of government, what should be a government. So that's our discussion next. So stay with us. We'll be right back. Hello, my dear friends, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the show, to the East-West show, which is the one that promotes life with lots of passion. Jack Chow, the lucky guy, happens to be the host of the show. Of course, you see, what you see is just my face on the show in front of the camera, but behind the camera, there's a whole group working for the same thing. For the same image that brought to you. So on behalf of them, here's my thanks to each of them, to my own team, of course to my audiences. Without the proper audiences, you never have a show. You're showing your show to what? To a vacuum?
Yeah.
Right? No, right, good. Okay, good. It's the mutual concern, the mutual focus that makes the show. And of course, in the show, it all depends what you're talking about to make the show this show. My point is that I make the show this show is because we at EDI promote positive life.
Absolutely.
Right? Because to promote positive life, and the fact is that why we promote positive life, right? When we just say life, I don't think there is negative life, right? Why you say positive life? Oh, good. Here's my explanation. Because you are living in a country that is supposed to be a melting pot of all people on earth. Yet, this country is governed by two parties, if not three.
Yes.
Each emphasis on their own connotation, on their own philosophy, on their own believing, whatever. And then for that, the government is dragged over sometimes to the left, to the right, on a rotation of every 4 years. If not 4, maybe 8. Right? Then during the eight, you reach midterms 4 times, because every 2 years, there is a midterm. So now, you are facing always going either left or right every 2 years. In other words, am I right?
Yes.
Join me in the huge, big, important discussion is my good friend, my brother, Ken Hemming. Welcome,
Thank you, Jay.
Ken.
Thank you, my friend.
Welcome, brother, back to the show.
I'm so honored to be with you.
All right, good. And you know what? When I started this subject, throwing the subject there, I kind of like in a joking kind of tone, right?
Yes.
While displaying the lead line, I feel heavier and heavier and heavier until now. I lost the passion, almost, because the subject is so heavy.
It's so heavy.
Right.
That's right.
Now, it all comes down to, in the country of democracy, you're talking about you do whatever you want to do within the parameter of laws, right?
Yes.
That's it. That's the whole thing. You make your money, or you do whatever you do, right? Now, but the thing is that with the partisan stuff involved, the government doesn't remain as government. So, what is in the law, in the most idealist mind, what government should be?
Well, let's go back to where America started. Okay.
All right,
let's go back to where it started.
Good approach, yeah, good approach.
George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Benjamin Franklin. I wish they were still
Our
here.
forefathers,
and they were part-time government officials. They were unpaid for a long time, and they went home when they were finished with the sessions during a year, and
no more writing the books, giving speeches, making zillions of dollars.
And they were very much of the people, for the people, and by the people.
Yeah.
Okay, they knew who they reported to deep in their heart. And then the evolution to where we are now, with a lot of stubbornness, a lot of dictation, and that, I think is essentially somewhat of a sad evolution. However, nothing will change my optimism and joy of life.
Yeah, of course,
so you live with whatever it is. Okay?
Yeah, me too.
But so if we talk about what's the role of government, I think it started out in a rather more ideal way with our founding fathers, and it's evolved more to securing your pension, securing your reelection, and really not the main focus on how can I serve our people and make their life better. Now, there's a lot of rhetoric, of course, that says that. But you could see after a midterm election or after a 4-year election, they're starting to work on the next election. Yeah, it's almost that fast.
Yeah, almost the first day when they took off, they started campaigning for their midterm.
It's true.
Or next thing, right?
It's true.
Next step ahead. And the whole thing, the same system runs from federal all the way down to bottom.
And that's why personally, perhaps you're not. I'm for term limits. Okay, maybe you get 2 terms and go home and make a living.
Yeah. So, term limit is one issue, but partisan is more at stake issue than anything else.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. Now, to look, Ken, I get confused sometimes. So far, so deep. Okay. Now, we are taxpayers. They are our representatives, right? They're supposed to represent us. And then we are ourselves. We are not saying Ken on the left, Ken Prentice's left.
No.
Or Jack Prentice's right.
Right.
So, in other words, among taxpayers, there's no left or right.
There isn't.
Kind of right. Call it the prefix.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Right.
There is no prefix.
Or surname?
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Now, why are we represented in 2 different ways, if not 3?
Well,
That's the first confusion, right?
yeah, I may not know what I'm saying. I think a part of this is that we have so many outreach programs or entitlement programs that diminish the ambition to be self-sufficient. And yet every vote for the vote of those that are very self-sufficient and ambitious has the exact same value, which it should, to those that are more entitlement-oriented.
Okay.
So the vote is the power.
My point, probably I should explain my point before you wholly grasp it. I'm talking about within, for example, within Southern California.
Yes.
Right? And we are the people. We are the taxpayer people. I pay the same if we make the same income or the same family burdens. Okay, we pay the same tax.
Right, within the same tax
numbers,
system.
right?
Yeah.
Now, so we are no differences from each other as far as being we the people are concerned.
That's correct.
Like we said, we
Left
have
or right, no.
We have no surnames, no prefix
Right.
behind or before our names.
Right.
So
exactly.
So in other words, we're neither on the left or on the right. We're on the P. We're the people.
Yeah, we're right there. We're the people.
We're the people. Now, why are we represented in a different way, in a Republican way, in a Democratic way?
I think it's kind of like a ball roll.
Number one.
Yeah.
Question number one. Question number two, if we are not ourselves the Republican Party or the D Party,
Yes.
right? We are not defined as that group, though.
Right.
Is it a fact that those representatives, they believe to the right, or they believe they are to be in the left? It is if it's them, impose their believing to us.
What it boils down to, there's no need to have a left and a right, particularly extremes.
Of course not.
Because all of us serving people should be fiscally responsible. I think that's a foundation.
Exactly.
Fiscal responsibility and an understanding that the objective of efforts is to benefit the broadest amount of people.
Exactly.
And that's not a partisan thing. Those issues aren't partisan.
Of course not. And then every time when it comes down to the very bottom line issue, those most at stake issues, and there's a fight.
Right.
Between the two. And there's a filibuster.
So much stubbornness right now.
Yeah. And even, you can read as many pages of yellow pages as possible.
Yes, right.
To delay.
Right. To delay.
To delay.
That's right.
So why are we represented in a system in a way like that? That directly understands or answers the question, what should the government be?
There may be one element that accounts for some of that, and that is we do not have transparency to the voters. We don't have a transparent government. No matter who's in government, it's not as transparent as it needs to be. When I was practicing CPA, my clients knew everything I knew. My associates knew what I knew. We were transparently
supposed
serving.
to be that way, right?
It's supposed to be that way, and that has sort of disappeared. So we have a very uninformed votership right now. If we go around and ask people who was the first president, a lot of people don't even know it because we don't even teach history in the foundation much anymore.
They don't even care.
Don't even care. So that ignorance is kind of allows this stronger left and right to
in terms
devolve.
of talking about the government, the people are paying too much focus on the sizes of government. They keep saying, should there be a bigger government or a smaller government? As a matter of fact, the size is one thing. Size doesn't matter, all right? Size doesn't matter. It is the function of the government.
Right.
Or does it or does it not? That is the core, right? If you have a government that doesn't function, you don't even have a government. Or you have a government, or government functions the wrong way, you have a wrong government. That's even worse.
Right.
So, do you agree with me?
I agree 100%. The one thing where size comes in is that all government employees, pretty much, are paid by the taxpayers. And if that group grows beyond the ability of the taxpayers, which is why we have $17 trillion in debt, that's a problem.
The fact is they're all paid by taxpayers, of course.
Yeah.
For them, they believe the bigger the better. Right?
Yes.
They get a better pay. They get better pay.
They do believe that. But,
and then on the other hand, this government depends on who gets the majority of the House, who gets the majority of the Senate. It's dragged over to the left, to the right, to the left, to the right, on and on. Take what? Take the issue for stem cell.
Yes,
stem
sir.
cell research, right?
Yes.
Call the on, call the off, call the on, call
Right,
the off,
right,
on and on.
right.
Take the
take abortion.
take abortion.
Very
Take
serious issue.
the same-sex marriage issue.
Yes.
Take the space program issue.
Right.
Yeah, it's dragged on to the left, to the right, to
Right.
the left, to the right. Never once did we say, this is the American way, this is the American orientation. Go.
Because
So?
the American way is evolving a little bit broader, a little bit more Europeanish, in my opinion.
Or maybe I'm staying here for too short, so I do not know the zigzag ways.
We don't know. That's right.
Yeah, the zigzag ways.
We always talk about the
over
horizon.
time.
We
Yeah,
always talk
yeah,
about
yeah,
that.
yeah,
We don't. We only see to the horizon, and the Earth is round, and you just keep walking forward, and the horizon keeps evolving. So the future of America, we can't
Could
see.
be. It could be.
Yeah.
It could be. Could be because you and I are no politicians.
No.
Well, we only look for 1, 2, and A to B, one shot straight, the shortest cut, right? And in reality, you have the zigzagging it, all right? The zigzagging in politics make us in the long run make it a better solution. I don't know, but we are lost.
And your viewers know that you're a very intelligent gentleman, but they also
I try to be.
They also know you have greater common sense.
Yeah,
and that's the value.
And I'm most of the time lost.
Yeah, right.
Most of the time I'm lost. All right, let's stay with us for quite a little bit, and we'll be back right away. Hello, my dear folks. Welcome back to the show. I should say, welcome, my dear lost friends and Americans lost in the dark or in the midst of doing nothing of just to let the days go by. So now, here's the discussion at the East-West show, hosted by Jack Chow, joined by Ken Hemmings, a creator and a writer and a philosopher. I look at him the way. So we're talking about starting with the Obamacare, dragging it down to the government function, dragging it down to the nature of the definition of a government. And we came to a point that our government is dragged from to the left, to the right, to left, to the right ever since. So
yes.
Should we let the government stay in one direction, or should we allow the zigzagging because it's a bipartisanship, right? That makes in the long run, in the historical evolution way, is going to be getting a better result. We do not know. So at the end of the last segment, I said as a conclusion, I'm a man trying to be intelligent. I found myself 99% out of 100, I'm lost.
It's fun.
Yeah, it's fun, right? Okay, while you're still lost, well, we're facing Christmas already, and Christmas is knocking on the door, right? Look at his vest. Look at his vest.
Yes, I love
Christmas already.
It's my spirit.
Right. And maybe, yeah, sure.
my heart.
It's almost there, yes. St. Patrick's Day is there, right?
Yeah.
All right. So Christmas comes with a big word, shopping.
Yes, sir.
Huge word, shopping. And all the American business preparing for a whole year just for this rush, like a gold rush, dollar rush, call it what? Call it the outlet rush or whatever rush. Mm-hmm. You just rush to buy, right? So with shopping coming, instead of a needs and necessity, it's almost a tradition. What's your comment? What's your take about Christmas shopping?
One of my takes is that I believe some people, and I possibly am one of them, want to show my love through purchasing presents to people, which isn't really love. Okay?
You see this tie?
Yeah.
A gift from a friend of mine.
Yes, and that's a tie of love.
Oh, there's it's a White House collection.
It's the White House collection of the Eagle, which is EDI.
All right. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
But I do know families that just, everybody buys one present and you just love each other. I personally sometimes go overboard because I get more joy out of giving than I do out of receiving. I have enough to live on for the rest of my life in terms of spoons and forks and glasses, and clothes. So it's a joy. I think it's real interesting. There's a joy to giving. And so in some ways I can argue that the more I give, the more selfish I am because I feel better about myself. And I think that's a valid viewpoint. But I think we want to make sure we do our shopping and sharing within common sense limits of our financial abilities.
Exactly. My point is that if the Christmas shopping, the term of Christmas shopping, stays within parameter of buying gifts for friends, I have no problem.
Right.
Because if everybody thinks about giving a gift, everybody gets a gift.
That's right. Yeah.
The same thing.
And so that's like a handshake.
And it's like a handshake.
Yeah.
Right. So you give a handshake, you get a handshake.
Right.
So that is not my point.
Yeah.
My point is that when the word Christmas shopping, quote unquote, putting together represents a tradition, it goes on sometimes, like more or less like Black Friday. It's like a rush of buying blindly, or just buying. And sometimes the housewives, well, they're the lover of Christmas shopping.
Yes.
They keep on and on and on and on. And our young people, and when they enter into the season, they sometimes forget the concept of saving.
Well,
so that is my problem.
Well, in as you correctly state, they forget the concept of saving. Another concept they forget is the reason for Christmas.
Yeah, why?
Christmas is a Christian holiday,
yeah.
And we are supposed to glorify and feel the joy of our faith if we have it. And as we talked about Thanksgiving one time, that Thanksgiving maybe one day, every other day of the year should be Appreciation Day. So the spirit of Thanksgiving should live every breath we take, and the spirit of Christmas in how we feel about our own life, our own soul, our own spirit should not be diminished by the obsession with shopping.
But speaking of that devil, though, there's lots of voices talking about naming this festival, call it the festival, Christmas. Is kind of like too much emphasis on Christianity rather than anything else. How about they say, how about us? How about us do not believe in Christianity, right? And non-believers of anything. So what does it? What does Christmas mean to us? So what's your take on that?
Okay, my take on that is this. Okay, I think atheists, which are great. I got a lot of friends most of my friends are atheists, a lot of them, and are having more influence in demanding more voice than more passive Christians are.
Religious free, they can do.
So I would have no problem voting for October 12th as Atheist Day, and you want to do it, and I won't complain about it. So that's fair, but I would say, please get off my back about the holiday that I share with people.
In other words, Christmas come as a tradition in the long run of history. People just did it that way.
I think it's fair to say Christians are very tolerant of atheists, but there's less tolerance coming back. I think that's a fair statement.
I know. To look at it from a historical point of view, probably we can bring a clearer picture to the answer of the question. For example, Thanksgiving got his name from Mayflower.
Yes, sir.
Right? From that story that goes on.
Yes.
Because that comes first. No government wrote on, no parties, no Congress voted on anything about making that a holiday until it was 1940-something. We voted, we get it written in law as a holiday. However, the Thanksgiving were celebrated year before that basis, before that law came in place.
Right.
Christmas is even more the same thing because Christmas is even international. Okay, it's global, right? Before anybody in the government or in the Congress put them into law, it is there, celebrate on a year basis already.
And the people that came to America came here for religious freedom.
Now, for a government to say, hey, let's make October 2nd for the Atheist Day,
You know,
right?
yeah.
Nobody will follow, and they can't do it. They don't have the right to do it. In that case, our government gets even bigger.
You know what's I always have fun no matter what's happening. If I'm in pain, I'm having fun. But
I don't care
like,
either.
Yeah, and yet in December, after Thanksgiving, when people say Happy Holidays to me, I always say Merry Christmas. And you can see sometimes they don't like it.
Sure. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay.
It's okay. They don't like it. It's okay.
I'm a Christian.
Yeah.
I'm baptized Christian.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
standard Christian.
Yeah.
Right. So, yet I have no problem with anybody celebrating Christmas
In their own way.
Any different way.
Right.
They may call it a Christmas. They may call it Xmas.
Yeah, anything you want to call it.
Anything you want to call it. It's a people's holiday. It is all of a sudden, finally, oh my God, until long last, we have some day for ourselves to celebrate.
Yes.
Let the wives get crazy for a time, for a while. You know, let the kids go crazy for some time. So that's a time to celebrate. That's it. My whole concern is that when the Christmas shopping becomes a tradition, please watch your pocket.
Yeah. Fiscal responsibility.
Your purse, your wallet, your bank account, or your credit card.
And your credit cards. You hit it right.
Yeah, do that, please. Do that as a favor to everybody, at least to yourself, because in Chinese we have a old saying that it is easier to celebrate a New Year Day, but it's harder to live each single day of the New Year.
I accept that, and I believe you and I, and I'm sure a lot of your viewers live every day with joy.
Exactly.
Equal
All right.
joy.
Sure. To my audiences, and here's the huge Christmas wish. And I wish everybody making lots of more progress in the coming year. And to the show, I wish to hear from you more and more. Now we have two boxes. One is the jack@edimedia.com. Jack, my name. At EDI Media, one word, all together. Jack at EDI Media Inc. Oh, I'm sorry. Jack at edimediainc.com. I'll say it. Or you can do it through another box, another address, tellmydj@gmail.com. When I see them, and I'll either when the opinions together, I'll make it categorized and put a show for you, or I personally will respond to you. So I wish to see more of that.
Yes.
And to my guests, I will give you the next 2 or 3 minutes to give you or end of the year, before Christmas, expectation or your wish.
Well, what I'd like to say is I live a life of love, and that your viewers that allow me to share some of my spirit with them at times, I wish you beautiful Merry Christmas, beautiful Happy Holidays, health, joy for your family, joy for yourself. And I'm honored to be a tiny part of the EDI family. And I believe you're honored to have them, Jack and his associates, serve your needs and share our joy for life.
Of course. And to our producers, cameraman, camera girls, editors, whoever behind the camera, here's also my appreciation. All right. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.